It claims that we're live.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything on YouTube yet.
What about now?
Yep. Looks like we're live.
Cool. Well, it's going as best as I can get it going under circumstances. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 134, Beating a Dead Horse. I'm live from the hotel, which has really shitty Wi-Fi. I didn't have time to make adjustments.
Good evening. Good evening. And Adrian, do you have those headphones?
See, you're getting feedback on yourself? Hold up.
Shouldn't they?
I mean, what are you hearing yourself?
I hear everybody other than you.
Is your phone on speaker?
We'll get the
All right, I'm not muted anymore.
Sorted.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, with no feedback. So what'd you do?
I plugged in my headphones and made sure I myself was unmuted. Though it still shows me as the wrong avatar.
Was your phone on speaker? Because I think
it was on speaker.
Just blast. That's why we had an echo. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because we were literally hearing everything we said over again, which meant brainwaves don't work right then.
Yeah, Bonvoy won't give me my damn password reset because I need my member number. If someone forgets the damn password, do you really expect them to remember the member number?
Oh, with Marriott?
Yes.
I think, I had to go through that process one time. You can reset it via email, can't you?
No, because I need to know my membership number before we would do that.
Interesting.
You know, who the hell's going to forget the password but remember the membership number?
Yeah, nobody knows their membership numbers. Let's see.
But I think I got this going as best as we're going to get it going.
You can enter your email or member number.
The one I saw required, once I got past that, it required a member number. Oh, crap. Can someone send Frank the link? Because...
Send who?
Oh, crap, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Give me a minute.
Yeah, this one's off to a slow start, folks. All right, let me see.
Okay,
Meeting
got it sent
info.
off to him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm going to continue to work to get this thing going. I have no major announcements. I'm here at the DebbieCon Hotel. I'm working during the day, but coming over to the hotel to bring some stuff over. Going to set up Thursday night, and a few more of y'all will be here then.
Woo-hoo.
Yay.
Yeah, I'll be there, but setting up for my company. Yay! Hopefully not a lot of setup. Okay, any other announcements? Other than, let's see. Everyone, I think, except for Darren and Raul are going to be at Derby, right?
I believe so.
No,
I'm not going to be there.
I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm flying in the morning. Yep.
Sweet. So are you going to stay the whole weekend or just like in and out?
No, I'm staying the whole weekend. I'm flying out of San Juan tomorrow, landing in Louisville, and I'll be there till Monday.
Nice. Yeah, that's very sweet. You gotta love it, cause you're a former Kentucky boy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I split my time, but I'm mainly down here now.
Well, yeah, but like growing up and everything. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
from
grew up in
Indiana.
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, and so you got a Kentucky and now in Puerto Rico. I mean, that seems like the biggest mismatch ever, but you make it work.
No, I'm telling you, it's not. Once you get off the coast, Puerto Ricans are rednecks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Can you still have guns?
Nah, that's the one thing. Well, you can. So the way their gun laws work down here is they have I wouldn't call it an extensive permit process, but it's definitely not Kentucky, put it that way. And you're limited in how many guns you can own, how much ammunition you can possess at any given time. But
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that one.
but now, where I used to live in Puerto Rico, I used to live up in the mountains, and they were just as country as the people in the Appalachian Mountains. But I mean, the metro area is just what you would think. But once you get up into the mountains, I mean, they're no different. They call them Iberos.
Very nice. Okay, so how's everybody doing? We already know Adrian's had some audio stuff and has slow Wi-Fi. So how's everybody else doing?
I can't complain.
Yeah. Excellent. How about you, Jack? Okay, Jack's not listening. Okay, Trez, how you doing? I know you're pretty amped up. You seem pretty happy on a couple messages I saw you posted today. Okay, you're not talking either. Fine, Darren.
No, I was talking, but I was on mute.
Oh, Jack was muted.
Good job, Jack.
Yeah,
Oh,
I said I can't wait to get
this
the
is
fuck up. I
podcast
can't wait to get
101
the
for
fuck up out of
anybody
here
watching.
because, like I said, I can't wait to get the fuck up out of here because that slow marching storm that's hitting the coast.
Out of here. So, are you East Coast right now?
Yes.
Okay. Not saying anything specific. How's everything been going? Like going good?
Tisk tisk.
Or just relearning everything you already know, type of thing.
We'll talk about it after the cast.
Oh, okay, that works. I mean, you can only be a private detective, and get to a certain point. You know, at some point, you know everything, obviously. So, Darren, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I've taken the week off of work because I kind of needed some time off, and
you're not feeling
been
derby, even though you got the week off.
well, no,
Hey, can you guys hear me?
well, no, because I owe $3,000 to the IRS.
Woohoo!
So
Hey.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm plus I'm starting a business, so I'm trying to be careful with my money right now.
Make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to owe a lot more than that. So congrats on that. It's a fairly quick payoff amount.
Yeah.
As opposed to about 15 times that. And Trez, yes, we can hear you now.
Awesome.
Yeah, just like the old school Verizon, we can hear you now. So Trez, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. Looking forward to DerbyCon.
Yeah, it looked like it.
It's my first and last one.
Oh, really? So you've never been one? Okay.
Nope,
Now, did you get a ticket or are you lobbyconning it?
No, I got a ticket. I went and got that auction ticket they were auctioning off on eBay for mental health hackers.
Okay. I think they had, 2 or 3 that they auctioned off, right?
Yeah, I got the second one.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Okay.
You guys were talking about guns before. I just wanted to mention the San Francisco just labeled the NRA a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
That's because people in San Francisco are batshit insane. Only people maybe worse than them is Portland.
Yeah, but it totally opens up the door for other people to do the same thing with other organizations that are benign.
National Organization for Women?
Yeah. Since when did a city classify terrorist organizations? I mean, states don't even do that. The government does that, yes. But since when did a city, try to brazen their balls up to do that? outside of San Francisco.
They think they can get away with the shit. That's why they're doing it.
I mean, but what are they going to be able to do with it? Try to make laws based around it? If you're a member of the NRA, I mean, they are going to be going through so many lawsuits if that's the case, and try to use that for gun confiscation.
That's the question: is what's the ramification of being designated as a terrorist organization by San Francisco? What effect does that have on you?
Yeah, and are they going to try to make city ordinances and things like that based around it so that they can be prejudiced and not have gun owners and NRA members within the city, or just what is their end game with this?
They actually also buy their guns for the police department from an NRA member.
I mean, which most of the gun shops I go to, they're all NRA members. A lot of them are members of other things, but they almost all support NRA in one way or another. But yeah, it feels like one of those things to me that it's just there to get headlines, but isn't going to be able to really do anything long term, because they will get the crap suit out of them if they start trying to come against gun owners who are NRA members.
For sure.
Okay, and with that cheeriness, anybody got anything before we start to breach report?
Breach report.
Okay, breach report. First up, we have ransomware hit a Virginia public school system. So anytime we have some ransomware out there that I find interesting, I try to go ahead and throw it in here. But late last week, we had ransomware hit New Kent County public school systems, which is in Virginia. It encrypted a lot of the student data, so the student actual information on the students, and they're quoted as saying, "We are unable to access these files without paying the ransom." It's not clear if the school district intends to pay. Last I had seen, they had not paid, and they didn't disclose the amount to be paid. But that's right on the start of the school year. You expect to have student records accessible, all that stuff. Anybody watching, have your backups.
And back up your backups.
Yeah, have a treachery backup. Have like Trez said, a backup of the backup, some potentially a treachery. I've said a couple of other times, there's only been 2 ransomware families I've seen that were cross-platform, meaning Linux and Windows. And so oftentimes, if you go from one platform and duplicate to the other platform, with whatever your enterprise backup system is, which most work on different platforms. But if you are able to do that cross-platform, that will X you out of being susceptible of probably 98 to 99% of all the ransomware out there. And then if you take it a step further and go treachery, say you go to like EC2, AWS, go up to Amazon, go to Azure, whatever the case may be, and actually make those time backups, so it doesn't happen whenever your secondary is occurring. It's sometime during the night or some offset time. It makes it very difficult. Obviously, it's going to take longer since it's off-site to restore the data, but at least you're still going to have your data. Or go old school, do like Iron Mountain. Actually do your tape drives. And I actually know organizations who still run tape drives. And I mean, the LTOs can hold a stupid amount of data now compared to used to. I mean, used to they held a lot of data. Now they hold even more. So you're talking terabytes of storage, even on a single LTO tape. So, yep. Make sure you keep going in and have sufficient and more than adequate backups. And also, tabletop this stuff out. Make sure that you have a game plan in place. If ransomware is to hit, that you have a game plan. Okay, so not only do we have the backups, but we know which systems we're going to restore first. You're going to need domain controllers. You're going to need all these different pieces and parts. So make sure you've tabletop that out, whiteboard it out, that which systems, need to take priority. Secondary, tertiary systems. Kind of down the line. If you're a school, there's databases and things like that that are going to have to take precedence. But if you're a business, kind of your crown jewel systems, your SQL servers, and then the systems that rely upon the SQL server for application functionality, make sure you have all that documented. So whenever it does happen, unfortunately, because it probably will, better than average chance it will. But when it does happen, if it is severe enough that it hits your actual server infrastructure, that you can have a plan in place and execute on that plan and get all your data back up and restored as soon as possible. Okay, so DB Daryl, are there really that many NRA members in San Francisco? I would say it's probably lessening.
Yeah, they're pretty
It's
liberal
probably
over
it's probably lessening just because so many people have left San Francisco. But I'm sure there's still some who are just kind of like legacy. And yes, don't forget to test your backups. Totally 100% agree. And then Raul,
Yes.
got a little bit of background noise.
Oh.
Are you out driving in your convertible again?
No, unfortunately, down here you don't have central AC, so you have window units and mini splits, and it was blowing on me.
I gotcha.
So I turned it off.
Okay. Cool. Okay, next up, Capital One. So we talked about the lady who was suspected for the Capital One breach, who was an ex-Amazon employee. So it potentially wasn't only Capital One that she, 33-year-old Paige Thompson, potentially gained access to. It's alleged that she may have gained access to 30 other companies.
Yeah, when that initially happened, I saw that in the GitHub repo. It was still mirrored for a time, and you saw she had zip archives of a whole bunch of other shit. Well,
Yeah.
gzip, the same shit.
Yeah. So the way from an investigating perspective that you're going to look at these things is you're going to see how somebody did that you're like 99% sure they did, but then you're going to look for that same type of pattern of activity. And now they probably worked with Amazon. Amazon reported back, yeah, we found this type of same activity, and are probably now advising 30 or so different companies. Yeah, we saw this exact type of activity, and this person was most likely within your systems, or the attacker. Since there's still a person of interest, a suspect, but not confirmed. So,
Right, and then there's also no such thing as just I only hacked one system one time.
well, I mean,
If you're a noob.
yeah,
But I mean the chances of that happening is like hit the fucking lottery.
Yes.
While getting struck by lightning
Yeah.
while running away from a bus.
And what three? Oh, I'm sorry, that was my son. No, I'm joking. And two, Jack, like what you said, what three-letter organization were you trying to get picked up by to potentially have a job? That's always fun. Okay, next up. So I'm not a big comic person. Webcomic XKCD. Anybody here familiar with them?
Yeah, I got the email.
Okay. So, yeah, 560,000 user accounts. Data was exposed on them, including username, email, IP, and hash passwords. As far as I could tell, I don't think they actually said what hashing algorithm they utilize, but like you just said, you got the email. They are advising all their passwords, all their users to change their passwords, which... So I obviously didn't get the email. Darren, did the emails say that you were being forced to change your password, or just asking for you to change the pass?
Let me pull it up here because let me double check what it said. I think it just said, "Hey, this happened. It's a good idea if you do it." Where Shit. I'm trying to find it because I think I deleted it.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, but it was pretty good.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently there's a website called EchoChamber.me which had a password leak, and it was on the same server as their wiki, so that's what got leaked. And apparently they what appears to be a leak is part of the user table from the forums. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So far, there's no indication the wiki account data was accessed, but since it's shared server with the forums, your account data may have been leaked. You should change your passwords on any site where you use the same password as on the wiki. So.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I figured somebody in here was probably at least somewhat affected by that. Because, but how popular? Like, I never heard of it. How popular is that?
It's pretty popular. I mean, I've been reading it for years. He makes some pretty interesting comics that are very intellectual and also funny.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, I like Scooby Doo, but I like the old Scooby Doo, not the new stuff where there's actually like ghosts. Okay, next up we have Facebook. Days without an incident, back to @0. So this is not necessarily new. This data was contained probably up to 6 months to 8 months ago, somewhere in that time frame. But back then, there was a server exposed to the internet containing 419 million records over several databases on users' geographies. 133 million records on US-based Facebook users, 18 million UK users, and another with more than 50 million records of users in Vietnam. So, yeah, which I wouldn't honestly have thought there were 50 million users in Vietnam. Server was not protected with a password, so anybody could access the database. And then the actual data that was included was the unique Facebook ID, phone number listed on the account. And then kind of the reason why this started becoming known within the last few days was there was a telephone phone number leak, dark website, and all of a sudden they started to researchers started to correlate that to this older Facebook dump. So it's not new, it's just now really starting to come to light. Anybody got
Imagine
anything
you
on
can
that one?
combine that with the Twitter vault, where you, if you have their phone number, you can essentially tweet as them that they just patched today, supposedly.
Yeah, which they patched today. You got to kind of wonder if they patched today due to something like this. Due to
Maybe
this.
Jack getting his account hacked.
Yeah. I mean, but just the timing alone makes me think, yeah, I bet they've had the patch out there for a very long time, but now that it could actually become a thing, yeah, now we're going to care.
It was just a poorly implemented system. I mean, texting a random, I think it's 40404, and you text that, and then if your Twitter account is associated with that phone number, it just tweets. No authentication, no nothing.
Yeah. And two, is that an issue? That shouldn't be an issue if you have the multi-factor with Twitter, right? I would think.
It bypasses that because it
it does bypass it.
Yeah, it literally, it's for people like they're on the road and they want to tweet something, but they have no internet access, so they can just send a text message to tweet. But it was poorly implemented. So if you
like
SMS spoof, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, but even like Twitter on a mobile client, that was still fairly lightweight. Like, how are you going to have SMS access? I mean, because even over 3G, Twitter will still work. even over 2G, Twitter will still, I mean, it'll be slow as shit, but it's still going to work. But good night. I didn't even know about that side of it.
I can tell you one scenario.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, so that is a good question. So what type of speed do you have down there?
Oh, now it's all good. Everything's great now, but like right after Maria, I mean, there was cases to where you would not have data on your cell phone, and like I would actually have to SMS people information, and sometimes I didn't even have that, and I'd have to use a satellite phone. And then in some cases, you know, I would be near a VSAT unit and would have no cell phone service whatsoever, and would have to use something like WhatsApp. So I mean, in a disaster scenario, it's going to vary, and SMS. It is used, especially when you have very, 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 you know, limited infrastructure in an area. But now I mean, in the metro area and most areas, everything's pretty good now. I mean, once you get deep into the mountains, you have spotty coverage still. But, you know, it was always like that.
Not just that, but I mean, if you're in an area where even if you have good coverage, you may be on someone's network that's not your host network, and the sharing agreement between them says no data. It allows voice and text, but no data. So that's one other option. For example, a couple years ago, I was in the Appalachian Mountains, and there were some locations I had where I had absolutely no cell signal. And I would go into the next biggest town, and I would get voice and text, but I could not get data because there was no sharing agreement there. It was some little rural MVNO, and they didn't allow data communication between them and I think T-Mobile at the time.
Yeah, T-Mobile was notorious for that.
Oh, I bet it went on the T-Mobile works with, everybody practically for sure.
No, they don't.
I mean, like, well, at least over the last like 5 to 6 years. I mean, before that, yeah, it was T-Mobile towers. Outside of that, you're screwed. But 5 or 6 years, I mean, I step on Verizon towers. I step on all kinds of towers now. I mean, I'm like 100% coverage almost everywhere I go now. I mean, used to it was spotty as all get out, but I've had really excellent coverage over probably the last about 3 to 4 years now.
I had Project Fi. I had great coverage everywhere I went, but they charged too much for data, so I left.
Yeah,
I'm on Project Fi, and their data plan is not that bad actually. It depends on how much you use. If you use a lot, then yeah, it's expensive, but yeah.
like, yeah, but also, how do you pay a monthly amount or do you pay when you use it?
So for Project Fi, I paid $20 for the first line, and then $15 for each additional line, and data is $10 per gigabyte up to a maximum. The maximum is determined by how many lines you have. For the one line, it's like 6 gigs, and then I think at 2 it's 10. So my theoretical maximum a month is 135. But if I'm careful on my data, I use say 1 to 2 gigs. I'm usually looking like around 80s, 60, 80 bucks,
So what happened?
which is a lot less than T-Mobile.
What happened with me when I would go over the? They say you can use it up till I think it was 8 gigs or some shit like that, and then it's free after that. But that free after that was only 2 gigs, and then your data becomes snail space.
Yeah,
and you can barely use it.
And you could take it off, but then they charge you a full $10 per gigabyte for everything.
That you've used not that $10 a gig that you've used since then too.
Yeah.
So if you've used those 2 gigs, now it's another $20 plus the $10. So it's
right.
Expensive.
So yeah, if you're in a location where that is your data plan, then yeah, it's crappy. But if you're careful about it, if you live in a urban area where you're carefully using Wi-Fi or just staying off data in general. So.
Yeah, because I was actually thinking about Google Fi for my redundant uplink here at home, and I'm still deciding what I want to do because T-Mobile also has their own in-home that they're starting up, essentially in-home networking, and so you have their modem. I think it's $50 a month, up to I think it's about 100 megabyte unlimited. But yeah, for $50 a month. So I could use that as a secondary uplink outside my regular, and then I have, cell for a secondary, hardwired for the primary. In case anything happens to the hardwired, I still have my secondary. But I'm still deciding if, like a Google Fi, because I won't be using it all the time.
What are you going to use, like round robin?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I mean, I potentially could. But, yeah, we'll just see. Because, like, with the Google Fi, like you said, you're only talking $20 a month. Not taking a family out to fast food one time a month. And you can have a secondary uplink for failover just in case. So, we'll see.
Yeah, where I live, I can't get a cable modem where I live. So I got a 4G wireless thing from this company that essentially resells old AT&T plans.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. It costs me like $75 a month, but it's my only uplink. So
is T-Mobile in your area?
They are.
Yeah, potentially. Like I don't know how widespread they're starting to try to get out there yet, but that will be coming out in the upcoming year to year and a half, probably nationwide, I'd imagine. I'm probably kind of a beta group right now.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Look at that head.
Yeah! What's
He
up?
still doesn't have any facial hair. I'm so disappointed. Oh wait,
No.
you got a little stash going on. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I see a little bit of line there. Yeah.
I'm gonna let it grow. I'm gonna let it grow after DerbyCon. That'll be my sadness beard.
So Charles, we were talking about a couple of different, cellular options right now. So Google Fi is, and something I've looked into. Some of the others have looked into more, but T-Mobile is actually starting a in-home cellular-based uplink, service. $50 a month. I think it's about 80 to 100 meg internet side.
Yeah.
So it's actually not that bad. I mean, for $50
it's
a
not.
month, I pay more than that for my regular wire or regular uplink.
Yeah.
But just some of the options, and we're going to see this expand more in the upcoming years too. We're not going to be so hard pressed on AT&T and Spectrum and some of these others. If you're watching, anybody watching the show right now, please don't use satellite. It is just the worst thing ever.
It's crap.
Yeah, unless that's by far your only option, try to use something else.
I don't know. I mean, satellite does have its purposes. I mean, I look at it as, break class in case of emergency.
Yeah, in an emergency scenario, that's about the only time it has a decent purpose. Then you're still going to be screwed on a rainy and cloudy day.
I'm sorry. I was about to say, I look at satellite just like I would look at dial-up if there was no other internet on the earth and I needed to get out in dire desperation.
That's right.
The cloudy and rainy days, it can't affect it, but with new improvements, my ex, her family lived at a cabin literally in the fucking woods, and they had used that, and it worked. It wasn't the fastest on the planet, but it worked.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah, the worst thing about sat internet is your latency. Outside of that, I mean, it's usable, but
yeah, and two, if you have big enough cache on your endpoint, it's actually not bad. Just make sure you have enough space for cache and everything. That's going to take forever. There were old school days, like back in dial-up days, where I think it was Netscape, one of those browsers, you could modify the cache to be 2 gig, and
that's
internet
bigger than the hard drives back then.
I mean, all depends on who you were and what you had. I mean, in 2005, 2006, I had 4 terabytes worth of hard drive space just my own personal. I figured out some ways to get some hard drives. Yes.
Did they fall off a truck?
No, it was legal, but I mean, and I still paid some money for 4 terabytes back then. I still probably paid close to $2K, but at that point, all that space was probably still in the 8 to 10K range. So I had friends who were wholesalers and got me hookups directly to the manufacturer, like all that fun stuff. So it was legal, but I mean, $2,000 for me back then. I mean, even now, $2,000 is still a lot of money. You know, you don't just want to go drop that. So
Unless it's on a ticket to DerbyCon.
yes, you could pay that much for DerbyCon. Yes, and I won't ask. Okay, next up we have Datto. MSP hit with ransomware and spread to customers. Is this recent?
So that again, I added that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
All
this
right,
is like,
so-
yes, 2 days ago. Yeah, so have at it.
Yeah. All right. So, like the title says, they're an MSP. They got a lot of customers, and they got hit with ransomware. Someone got on their network and they pivoted into their client networks and spread that ransomware everywhere with those admin cards that were just sitting around. So it was actually being updated on Reddit by people who worked for Datto, and also their customers were all posting on Reddit when this was happening.
Yeah.
And like, updating what the hell's going on.
Yeah, because we
So-
just talked about an MSP or an MSSP like maybe 3 weeks ago that was hit, and then it started going through client networks also.
Yeah,
I mean,
it seems to happen pretty often.
yeah,
Like MSPs are becoming targets.
yeah. I mean, and it makes sense.
Yeah, they're a good target.
Yeah, and to just remind anybody listening, MSPs aren't always security related too.
Those would be MSs.
Yeah, but some MSPs will do security related items, but MSPs in general are going to be your IP or your IT concierge type of thing. You know, imaging systems, installing software on endpoints. You know, kind of offloading a lot of the IT types of duties. But then too, some of them do perform security related function, but most of the MSPs will have really low level ingrained access into your infrastructure unless you specifically keep them out. So you need to still segment them as much as possible. Do your due diligence, just because it's like having another DA in your environment that you don't necessarily have full control over.
Right.
So be very, very careful with your MSPs. I mean, I'm for MSPs. You know, give them the certain environments, but you still need to do your homework and just make sure they don't have unadulterated access into your environment. You know, where if they were to get popped, now that means you are also going to get fully hit.
With some MSPs, they're the only IT for the company. That's it.
Yep.
So nobody else has any clue what's going on. So
yeah, and if they're the only IT and there's not, you know, who's watching the watchers, you know, you at least need to have one person watching the watchers. You know?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Charles is definitely not a watcher. He does not. He gets out and plays.
I heard he likes to watch.
He likes to watch before he attacks.
That's right.
Because
I am a sneaky son of a gun.
You are well, yeah, I can't say that, I guess. But yes, there's one movie that said, "Oh, you are a sneaky, sneaky white boy." But you know, I guess I can't say that, Charles.
I definitely don't fit that profile at all.
And I don't remember what movie it was. I remember it was a black lady that said it to a younger white guy. But she said, "Oh, you sneaky, sneaky white boy." But it was fun.
I think she was turned on when she said it.
Oh, I hope not, because she was older.
That don't mean nothing. They still get turned on.
I know, but yeah.
But
okay. Next
but yeah.
up. Oh, what did you have to say?
No, I was about to say next. Yeah.
Okay. MasterCard. Oh, priceless.
Yeah, this is a German
Member
thing.
site breached.
Yeah, pretty cool. So it's a database containing sensitive information of 90,000 German MasterCard holders, loyalty program members, where it was essentially shared with Have I Been Pwned on September 1st. There's not really a lot of information about how the data came to get to being shared with them, but they got breached. And they're a credit card company, so it's a pretty big deal.
Nice.
It
Speaking
had
of,
IP. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Mine's a follow up after this.
It had partial credit card data, so it had IP addresses, email addresses, phone number, gender, date of birth, and other identifying information. So
I like that. And 2, Germany is still GDPR, right?
they should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Germany's made no moves to leave the EU, so
Yeah, this could get really spicy for MasterCard then. I like that. I mean, I don't like it. That's unfortunate. But my kind of follow up question thought: has anybody heard anything about Have I Been Done? Have I
heard that he's
Been
trying to
Pwned?
sell it.
Or a buyer. So Troy still owns it, operating it, hasn't found a buyer yet.
I'm surprised somebody like Leak Source doesn't come around to try and buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a valuable service, and I think for the most part he's automated the majority of it. Whether he outsourced it or because I don't think he probably could have done it himself, like from an automation perspective. But I think a lot of it has been automated, so it's one of those you could. And I don't know what the asking price is, but potentially get in and have a business that
actually
a lot of people know of.
I got some very interesting spam recently from this company, passwordalert.com. And the guy goes on, he says, like, I run a cybersecurity website called Password Alert. We specialize in scanning the internet and dark web for leaked and breached credentials. I was going through my list of contacts and did a quick scan of your email address. I did find some leaked information and passwords I think you should know about. And then he actually has plain text of like 3 of my old passwords he sent me. And then he goes, I recommend you do a full internet scan or a dark web scan to see what information's out there. As part of my service, I'll send you a personalized PDF showing search results and scan some of the recommendations on how you can get those passwords removed. Right. Because once they're out there, they can be removed.
Yeah. Did you happen to email him back?
I did.
Because my thought is, if you could, but my wife told me about this thing called sarcasm recently, so I'm not really familiar with it, but she said it works well with kind of my personality. But, email them back kind of in a fashion of, oh, well, this sounds amazing. So can I just go to your site, type in my email address, then show the passwords like you showed it to me here? Because if I were to want to hack a ex's Facebook account or Twitter or anything else, I mean, that would just be really a valuable service to me. And
yeah, I actually replied back a little more covertly. I wrote, you have a pretty good source of breach data. The second password isn't normally found in breach sites like Leak Source. Do you sell access to this data? And he replied back, hi, I cannot give out access to our proprietary technology. If you would like, I could work with you and supply you with leaked information I can find on certain clients for a small fee per client.
Nice. And anybody watching, like, that stuff's crap. Don't try to go out. Because if you're watching us, you know about GitHub. You probably understand what Linux is, have used Linux. But there are so many dark web scrapers out there, as well as some social media scrapers and stuff like that. And even if you don't touch the dark web, if you have a scraper that just scrapes pastebin, like, you would have more passwords available there, to last you nearly a lifetime than having to go through the dark web and everywhere else. So just an FYI, scrapers are out there. there are some already specifically made for passwords. You can modify others that say you like whatever about them more. They run on maybe FreeBSD for, Charles. But they do exist. They're not difficult. I did it 15 plus years ago. So you can definitely do it today. And it's a lot easier to do than it used to be.
Yeah, you
Except-
find access to a lot of combo lists on there.
Yeah. And instead of it being passwords back in the day, I was just downloading source code for different fun items that were found. So always fun.
All the code.
Oh yeah, all the code. 23 towns in Texas hit.
Oh, guys, can you all hear me now?
Yes,
Nope.
yes. I can
All right, I'm seeing about moving the connection over to my PC now that I have connection. Hopefully, this is actually being paid for via the free Bonvoy and not charged my freaking room. But we'll see how things go.
Nice. And honestly, in those rooms, I haven't. Oh, actually, I have stayed in that Marriott. Yeah, I don't think I paid anything. And
Yeah, I didn't pay anything either.
yeah, and the connection speed was fairly decent whenever I was there.
It was saying like $9.95 or something unless you had Envoy, and I got an Envoy account logged into the website, and it didn't ask me for a login after I said to pay, but it did have my room number and name. But then again, I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's what you get for staying at the Marriott. Could have stayed at the Fairfield and just.
Not on my own dime, no.
Did you ask?
No, not technically.
Okay, I think we did talk about this one.
Last week it was fewer towns. Since then
Yeah.
it's been a few more.
So it's gone up a few more towns. So we got
Usually after a few towns get hit, that they would go to fix that shit.
Yes, and again, it's ransomware. I keep forgetting what your name is on here.
Trez or Frank, either one.
Oh, so I can say your other name. Okay.
Yeah, I
But
don't care.
Trey, okay. But do we have anything else though? So it's ransomware. Everything that we said earlier still applies to this. Ransomware is ransomware. Try to, 1, keep the ransomware off your systems. 2, try to isolate it to only one system. 3, have backups that are sufficient. 4, know how to utilize those backups and how to restore your data in a time-sensitive fashion.
And be sure when you get hit with ransomware to fire all your IT staff so that new people who don't know anything about your system can come in and totally secure them.
Yeah, and that's kind of the really dumbass part. Anytime you see companies doing that, especially whenever the IT staff, and if there is a security staff, security most of the time will have been advising and asking for budget and saying we need to do this, this, and this. And
but you know how it goes. People get their heads chopped off, and it is what it is. Set an example.
At times, yes. At times, yes, but not all the time. I mean, sometimes you do have those pretty decent companies out there, but in the same sense, more companies need to start listening to their employees, listening to those security-related requests that are coming through.
Actually, give them a budget.
Yeah, because they are going to be the experts. Your board of directors, I don't care who is on your board. You got the one guy who's a owner of a security company. Okay. The owners of the security companies aren't developing the software. They're making sure sales are there, that stockholders are happy. Company profits are going up. They're not as involved on the security side, the actual security, the low level nitty gritty stuff. But yeah, if you are board level management and up, you need to make sure you are listening to your security team or whoever within your organization IT side oversees security. Because there's still a lot of organizations that only have IT and don't have anybody dedicated to security. I talk to people like that constantly. But your sysadmins, your network admins, most of the time are very knowledgeable. They may not like security. They may not ever touch it, but they at least respect it. Like
That's
Charles.
not always the case. I've run into some sysadmins who just give a shit about security. They want things to work smoothly, and they don't care if they're secure.
Agreed. And, I've worked with those people too, but you'll usually have those one or two people who actually do give a crap. And those are the people that you kind of center in on and look to. And, I'm sorry, but if your senior sysadmin, regular sys, junior, senior network, regular network, junior, and you are not on board with doing things security related within your organization,
You can get out.
and there is a client services, or crap, man, it's been a long time, a help desk type of person who is very, very passionate about security. I, in a management role, I don't give a crap. I will leapfrog them immediately if you don't care one thing about it, and I will let them start making some of the decisions over what you say, and I will enforce everything that they are saying as long as it is pertinent to security. It is that important in today's day and age.
Israel, this
Charles.
is why you're my favorite. This is why you're my favorite Autobot.
I know.
He's a Decepticon.
No.
No.
Your no.
Nah,
This
that
is
man is a true,
Autobots.
he is a true Autobot, just like I'm a true Care Bear, as I've been
Yes.
told.
I'm at home and I transform at home from an introvert. Then I go to a conference to an extrovert.
Uh-oh.
If you see me in my hotel room, you're probably not going to talk to me. Once I'm outside my hotel room, hell yeah, I'll talk to you.
So,
Switching it on and off.
well, with,
Oh, you gotta have that. You gotta have that moment to decompress.
Well, I mean, me by my own nature, I'm an introvert. And
really?
I'm perfectly fine. Oh yeah, 100%. But one massive thing I did and again, one of my little things, you don't need a 4-year degree. I got a 2-year degree that does nothing to do with InfoSec, with IT, with anything
agreed.
technology related. You do not need that. But I got an associate's degree. But 2 of the classes that I took was Acting 101 and Acting 102. And me taking the acting classes very much so helped me to kind of break out of my shell, break out being just like an introvert, being able to easily speak in front of people. I mean, I had to do improv at a local comedy club in Columbus. Like I had to do 3 or 4 different shows as part of the class.
Wow.
But it forced me to break out of my shell, but it by far was the best thing that I could have done in regard to public speaking, in regard to, eye contact even is huge. Because a lot of introverts, look down, don't want to make eye contact, but you learn a lot of those things that you need to do to kind of engage an audience.
Toastmasters is good for that too.
Yes, and that's the next thing I was going to bring up. If you don't want to do some type of an acting class, Toastmasters is excellent. You can go in front of a group of people and not really get publicly ridiculed like you will potentially at a comedy club, Can
I just practice by making eye contact with people at urinals?
That
Well, okay. It's actually
it's
actually good to make eye contact at urinals because if you start cross checking me, I'm gonna give you a right cross just off top.
Yeah, and kind of the urinal side, that's what I was gonna say. You can have that initial eye contact just to let them know you're there, stay in your spot. But past that, yeah, it needs to be out. Yeah, no urinal checkups.
Yeah. What helped me I'm not saying I was never I was never in a shell. Like I'm not an introvert at all. Now if I'm by myself and somebody walks up on me, then yeah, I'll talk to them. But the thing is, what's helped me speak better in front of people, because before I was just kind of like literally like all over the place, like woo and yeah and yeah and all this other stuff, right? But now what's helped me do that was going to places like for me, Nova Hackers, and actually doing talks in front of them,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
front of the crowd.
Yeah, if you're able to get to a conference, like Nova
Yeah.
Hacker B-Sides, get in front. ISC Squared, I used to, shoot, what do they call it whenever you're leading the discussions?
Moderate.
Moderator.
Yeah, moderate, but they had
Admin.
MC.
Yeah,
So
MC.
if you're like at a ISSA, ISC Squared, and you're able to MC, like that's just even more experience.
And I even MC at my family reunions too. So
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't want to do that, I do MC at my family reunions, and that could be a way of actually talking in front of people and sticking with an agenda.
And too, like, and that is a really good point. At a family reunion, you shouldn't, I air quote that, but you shouldn't have everybody like blasting you. I mean,
No.
it's your closest family, so again, I say shouldn't. But
you shouldn't, yeah.
You shouldn't have everybody blasting you for, kind of emceeing it or something. Yeah.
But that's how I like I said, that's how I learned to like really just speak in front of others or whatnot, because I can have a conversation with anyone all day, and it wouldn't phase me. But like at a time when it was time to like talk about something or whatnot, I would kind of go off subject or whatever else. But like I said, doing talks like that, being MC, I never tried to stand up comedy. You're bold. You're awesome for that.
I had to,
but I never thought of trying that. But that could be. Or for anybody out there that has that courage to stand up and try to do stand up, that could be another avenue as well too. It's no, and what I'm getting from Israel is just saying, hey, there's no one path that's etched in stone that everybody has to walk through. Everybody gets into InfoSec. I'm just gonna say tech in general. Everybody gets into tech from all different directions, all different walks of life, all different degrees. From everywhere.
But there is one thing though. You still need to be able to kind of break out of your shell and talk to people.
Agreed.
It is going to be a 1,000% uphill journey through your entire career if you are a pure introvert and can't kind of have some of those extrovert types of skills. Like you need to have some of those skills.
Right, and what we did in the military was we did train the trainers. So for example, like every once in a while, I would on Wednesdays I would have to teach my platoon, or it would be me teaching some other person's platoon. But we would teach some whatever bullshit soft classes, and at the end of it, everybody in the class would give like two positives and a negative, and that way you became better at public speaking.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
So I mean, and you don't have to think about it like that. So if your place of employment has like what they call lunch and learns or brown bags or whatever, just try that. It could be some BS 30 minute whatever, just to put yourself out there to try it.
Yeah, and the lunch and learn brown bagging type of stuff, that is perfect. Definitely thank you for saying that, because I never even would have thought of it. But you will, if say you don't have a security department, but you are an IT person who takes an interest in security, run over with your manager, the director, and throw it out to the company to have a lunch and learn, and just going over some basic security principles. Go over the high level stuff with phishing, how to protect their home systems. You can also incorporate some of the stuff you as a company are doing to protect the internal systems, but make it something useful to them. But that also gets you out there, and you will never hear no. Like you will, at least I can't imagine it. If you hear no, you need to just switch companies. But IT managers, directors. I mean, they will. I can't even think of a time. Can't think of a time where they would say no if you offer to put that out there as a convenience to the company. Now, if you work at like Google and your help desk, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But most companies.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Google implements something similar.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
But I'm sure
having
the list or the
100,000 employees or have whatever hundreds of thousands of employees, they're if you're not up to a certain level, you probably aren't going to get to do something like that. But the other 99% of companies out there, you're going to be able to do something like that. Not everybody is Google, and thankfully.
I'm glad. I like diversity.
Exactly.
And what I mean by diversity is just diversity amongst companies. Before anybody on the stream says anything different.
Yes.
Ill will's against diversity.
I know, Charles. So your caption shows ill will.
Seriously?
Yes.
Will, are you in my computer? Nah. That's odd. Seriously.
Not for the last like 20 minutes. No, he logged out. He was nice.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was respectful.
Thanks, Will. Oh, by the way, Will, I got one of your T-shirts too. Thank you.
Make InfoSec Savage again.
Yes.
I was loving it. But he's not on here right now. But
okay. Well, we'll talk to him later.
That's right. Okay. What were we talking about? Texas, right?
Yeah.
Ransomware.
Yeah, I think we finished with Texas. And we'll move on.
Yeah.
What was the next thing?
The next thing? Well, it'd be the iOS exploit that's been in the wild.
Unless you want to do a vulnerability of the week, since Caprico is slacking this fine day.
No, I'm going with the regularly scheduled program today. My online time is limited today, so I'm driving down to Derby tomorrow.
Oh, so you're going to have more kids trying to catch up with me. I see how it is.
Ooh.
Next up, P. Ricard said, "Hi, folks." John said, "Adrian, you need to upload DEF CON 27, all the videos." I don't know.
I don't record DEF CON.
Yeah, I don't think he has those videos. Those, honestly, those are probably union, right?
I think so, right?
I can't remember the company, but they hire some company to record it, to my knowledge. But yeah, my understanding is you have to hire some kind of union. It became an issue one year when I helped record something on the Strip. But that was like a village. But yeah, my understanding is on the Strip, it is unionized.
Yeah, I thought it was. There's a couple places that are like that. Okay, next up, we have vulnerable stuff. iOS exploit chains found in the wild.
Yeah, this was a watering hole attack. So it would just exploit sitting on a website waiting for somebody to drive by, download it.
Yeah. Yeah, a website. But the fun part, this could have been embedded into advertising, which we've seen those types of attacks all over the place.
And they installed an implant on the phone, too, which is pretty wicked.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So Project Zero is Google's, what would we consider Project Zero? Kind of like their threat hunting area?
Yeah.
Their generalized threat hunting area. They don't focus on Google products. They try to make the internet safer team full of hacker celebrities.
Yeah, the area that, yeah, we don't exploit Google, but we exploit everything else.
I don't know. They might exploit Google.
They may.
I have no idea. I typically hear of them when they exploit Microsoft or Apple.
Yeah, and there's very few times that I actually hear them exploiting or releasing research in regard to anything that was Google related. So yes, maybe they do hit Google, but potentially that stays internal and doesn't get publicly released. Like with Android 10, I think I saw there were going to be 190 vulnerabilities patched on it. Anybody else here see that? I think that was the number.
As the first of hearing of any numbers.
Yeah. I think kind of the next major release is going to have 190 vulnerabilities patched on it. So, I mean, that's still sizable. But when did 9 come out? Probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know, but think about it, like in a Microsoft perspective, in a year and a half to 2 years, 190 vulnerabilities.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad if you're talking, Microsoft.
Yeah. Don't just wait, kids. Mac is going to catch up as well.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know if they will.
Well, don't you know Macs don't get viruses?
Yeah, Macs don't get viruses. Bullshit. So yeah, Macs get viruses. You just don't have as much malware being created for Mac. And granted, I will say Mac is more hardened, especially the way they're doing the stuff now. And I don't remember which version, but they're actually separating out some of the critical operating system files away from the general user access, unless you specifically go in, and give yourself access into. It's almost like a separate container.
Well, I mean, why would you even bother targeting Macs though?
And that's the thing.
That's like picking on the short bus. I mean, come on, why do that?
And two, like, I respect Mac. It's not my favorite OS, but I definitely respect it. What they do security-wise is not bad. You still have to watch it, though, because things will target Mac, especially very specialized attacks. But whenever it comes to kind of the low-hanging fruit, Mac doesn't stay within that low-hanging fruit range. Now, iOS, yes. Mac OS, not so much. Because iOS actually has a user base. Mac, not that much of a user base. You aren't going to have your accountants using Macs. Now your CEOs, and that's why Mac is still a target, because a lot of your C-suite wants to have the rest of the company being Windows, but they get their iPads or their MacBook Pros. So that's why it can still actually be a valuable target, but
not just C-levels, but there's a lot of companies that try and be trendy, or even governments that try and be trendy and give everyone Macs, even though it's totally unnecessary for their job purpose.
Right.
My last job was like that. Pretty much everyone on the floor who was IT got Macs. A few people got Windows, but most people got Macs. I'm like, why the hell am I getting this piece of shit?
There's some schools also that require all their students to have MacBooks now.
Oh, that's interesting. So, but, especially once you start hitting the school areas, schools will definitely start to increase. As long as the schools increase the amount of Macs, then at least if they are on the actual school's domain or touching the school's domain, internal resources, then yeah, we'll start to see more attacks that are targeting Macs. But whenever Mac is, I don't know what the current number is, maybe 4 to 5% of all business-related endpoints, until it actually is a significant number, you're only going to see at most 4 or 5% of the attacks occurring against Macs. It's just not that big of a platform, a landscape to attack right now, and it never has been. Now, iOS, Android, Raspbian. Raspbian probably almost has as big a market segment as Mac, if not bigger. And touching the iOS, or touching the not iOS, IoT market, yeah. And we may see more attacks against Raspbian, than we even see against Macs. Like, because attackers are going to go where the money is. They're going to go where the volume is. If they don't think the money's on that type of endpoint, to be able to pivot off of it. So that's all I have to say about that.
So with the next one we got coming up,
well,
we're going to do the bulletin.
Yeah, let's
go ahead.
Something else.
Oh, I was going to elaborate on the that Mac, the iOS 0-day watering hole thing. I'm going to earn 14 0 days that were used in the exploit chain, or I don't know if there were multiple exploit chains, but I did hear 14 0 days were used. and kind of been freaking out a lot of people, as the usual conception of risk related to 0 days is you have to be someone worthwhile to target. That isn't they're not going to waste 14 0 days in a watering hole. You have to be someone worth spending multiple millions of dollars burning 0 days on. But in this case, this website, it was targeting some ethnic minority from China. It's widely believed that the Chinese government was behind this watering hole attack. The 0 days were there for roughly 2 years, is what I'm hearing, before being caught. And this is really screwing with the heads of people who think if the government uses a 0 day, it's going to be burnt. So they have to use the calculus accordingly. 2 years of 14 0 days, where the exploits here, the traffic was being sent out in clear text, so not even encrypted.
And that's the thing with a 0 day. Until somebody discovers it, I mean, you can use a 0 day forever until it's discovered. Just because a 0 day is named a 0 day doesn't mean they just created it yesterday. I mean, we've seen so many things over the years, especially with Windows, that they're an easy target, that you find potential 0 day compromises that affect all OSs back 15 years. Just because something is 0 day doesn't mean that it was just discovered. They could have figured it out 15 years ago, but nobody actually discovered it until now.
Yep. So,
or no one discovered it but announced it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And given the very advanced exploits, the number of exploits, with the extremely sloppy tradecraft, like again, clear text, traffic. I think it was hard-coded credentials. Something hard-coded that was not something anyone experienced would do. The narrative right now is it's most likely some government purchased 0 days from some malware vendor, and then just had very amateur programmers try to incorporate them into some malware to target, I guess, Chinese ethnic dissidents.
It's going to be an expensive purchase though, because Apple O days go for like $1 million.
Now,
and it's like, well, I mean, when it comes to nation states, budget ain't shit. if they want to get something,
exactly,
that blank check's open.
Yeah, and considering how much mileage they got out of those 14 0 days, and typically $1 million is not for any and every 0 day. It's for some of the better ones, like no click. Just no click, no user involvement, Insta root, that kind of stuff. That said, also hearing that the 0 day market, at least as far as Zerodium has been reporting, has actually been reporting recently that Android 0 days are now going for more than iOS. This is the first time in quite a while.
What? Because iOS is $1 million a pop now.
I think it was, last I heard was like a no user interaction exploit chain that will instantly own the device. With a few more qualifiers, was going for $2 million for iOS and $2.5 million for Android.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because like iOS, their very minimum bug bounty now is 100 or is 200K. For Mac OS, it's 100K if you find anything. And I mean, so, that's really good money for anybody who doesn't know. That's good money. That's great money.
Oh yeah,
but then you have to also take into account.
So
I'm just saying you have to also take into account the number of times you're actually poking at it and you come up with nothing. So you might come up nothing 1,000 times, but it just takes one.
Yeah. So kudos to Google and the Android team for really shoring up Android security.
The only problem is the older devices aren't getting those patches.
Yes, this is True. And I admit I've not been following the ecosystem that closely. I don't know if or how they've managed to get around the massive problem with third parties like ISPs customizing their version of Android, not pushing up security updates for many months, if not years after Google releases it for stock. I don't know how Google has managed to address that, because that was by far the biggest reason Android
don't
was
remind me of
seen as
updates.
so insecure compared to iOS.
They really haven't. Fragmentation's been a problem forever since Android came out, because I remember like on version like 1.4, because I ran a Motorola Droid. It was my first Android device, and I was trying to get updates through, like, because I had a Verizon customized phone at the time, and just trying to get updates because it went from Google to Motorola to Verizon, and we were several revisions behind. That's that. In some places, the developer just fuck it. They don't do it.
And that's why when I did make the jump to smartphones, the first smartphone I got was Nexus.
Yeah.
And I do also want to state these are first world problems from a patching perspective. Third world are using oftentimes 5-6-year-old devices that are no longer supported. So this is not just like my newest device doesn't have the most recent patch. We still have to kind of think about it first world type of thing. But this is a constant in other nations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just that, but other nations, especially those on the embargo list, like say Sudan. You go to Sudan and you connect their Wi-Fi or to the cellular networks. You know what your encryption is? It's gonna be DSA 56-bit because they don't allow any higher because of export laws. So it's not just that. There's a lot of other encryption problems too, not just patching.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you know why they like the encryption low outside of certain areas.
Oh yeah, they still
I don't say they like it. They take advantage of it for damn sure.
No, that's why they like it, because they can easily crack them shits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to put too much computing power into it.
Yeah, just like when they put the root CA on in Kazakhstan, talked about last week, they can easily crack all the traffic because they can see everything.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It's awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, you think that's beautiful? That sounds like a black hat. Come on.
No, I just, hey, listen, I am, my day and night job depend on both attacking and defending, seems like.
Charles.
So he attacks the things in the daytime and then defends them at night.
Charles is Batman.
Feels like that.
Yeah, Charles is the masked crusader.
I am the BSD bandit.
That's right. I still think you need some type of not a mask, because you got that beautiful head and everything, but at least a bandana or something.
A bandana? I'll try.
Yeah.
How's the web?
What they call those things where it's just over the eyes? I mean, it's bandana, but with the eye cutouts. But
see,
balaclava.
Only reason I didn't get that. Only reason I didn't get that because
I'm still listening, Charles.
Kelly wore that, and yeah. No, I'm just saying. Only reason I didn't get that mask is because R. Kelly wore that type of mask, and I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, R. Kelly made himself at home in Gen Pop, right?
All I gotta say is he's gonna kiss the baby. But anyway,
nah, he's not kissing the baby. They're giving him a wide berth because they don't want to touch him.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing other things.
Guys, out. I got finish packing for Derby. You guys stay cool.
Have a good night, man.
Later. I'm packing as we talking.
Oh, we know you're packing.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
How's it feel out there? I'm sorry, real quick. How's the weather out there, Adrian?
It's not bad. It's about
82.
I suppose about 70 in the evening. And let me check. I think it got up to 81 earlier in the day. It's actually it's 82 right now.
No, it's 82 right now. I was about to say.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna bring like a long sleeve shirt just in case for nighttime.
Nah,
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
No,
I'd
okay.
still say bring a hoodie. I mean,
I am.
Well, how far away? How far away are you staying?
No, I'm.
You staying in my room?
I'm staying in Adrian. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because you can just go up down from the hotel room. So I would say, bring a hoodie.
Okay.
Just because, whenever you're in an area that doesn't have 25,000 or 2,500 people around you, it's still going to get a little chilly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Cool.
Or you can get like the fanny pack of sweatshirts and get the one where the sleeves
I'm not doing. I'm not doing the fanny
zip
pack.
off. It's the fanny pack of sweatshirts. Come on.
No, I'm not doing the fanny pack.
Hey, I got a buddy who will probably be there with a fanny pack on.
Awesome.
I mean, he's a big fanny pack fan.
And I'd hug him, but I'm just not gonna do that.
I've got some kind of belly pack kind of thing that straps over my front. It looks pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say he's somewhat huggable. He may let you give him a hug. My buddy who likes fanny packs.
I'm a hugger, so it's okay.
That's right. Okay, last up in the vulnerable stuff. As you guys probably noticed, Caprico's not on, so we haven't been hitting a lot of the vulnerabilities of the week. The cool tools we're going to miss this week just because he's not on. And I didn't have time to go into a lot of expanded things there. But on the weekly bulletin, still have the link in here. And again, this is a CISA weekly bulletin. It's a nice roundup of a lot of the programs that are used enterprise side, some, user home side. But again, focus on the highs and criticals for your out of band patching, and then medium and below for your monthly patching. And I don't have any specifically that I'm pointing out this week, but check the list. It's good. Put that in your favorites, bookmark it, whatever browser you have, favorite or bookmark it. Check it out once a week. They publish these on, let's see, this one was week of August 26th. I think they
I don't know. I get the notifications either Tuesday or Wednesday. It just depends.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Tuesday, I think, is when they actually publish them. So yeah, maybe try to check them out on Tuesdays. Check on Monday just in case we're wrong. Maybe they publish new ones by Monday, but I think it's usually Tuesday, and you can see all the new vulnerabilities out there that you should actually give a crap about. Okay, we're skipping cool tools this week. Then other stuff. So this one's kind of fun. So this is the first time we've had a deep fake, and this one is a voice deep fake. Scammed a CEO out of $243,000.
He'll make it back.
Oh, he will. Yeah, but one thing that I did really like about this article, it's actually on Forbes. Okay, but they had the Joe Rogan deep fake. So it was Joe Rogan's voice, machine learning, and I don't like some of the initial verbiage on here. Let's see, according unnamed UK-based earnings firm. I know they put AI somewhere here in the beginning or somewhere in the article, but the video actually does say manipulated via machine learning. So it's a really good video to watch. It does sound just like Joe Rogan, but it was not Joe Rogan saying these things. But it's interesting to see in the future kind of where we could go. Voice deepfakes obviously are a thing, will continue to be a thing. Even thinking about if you say, okay, well, I know the voice could be staged, and now let's do like a GoToMeeting, a Skype or whatever, and do one-on-one where you're seeing the person. Guess what? It's not going to be long before that is completely deepfake too. And we're potentially going to get back to the place where, for kind of those high level, more secret types of meetings, company buyouts and stuff like that, we'll probably have to go back to being like 100% in-face person to person.
Well, no. I mean, black boxes might come into play.
In what way?
Well, I mean, I don't know what I don't know what a civilian term for them is, but I mean, I just always call them black boxes where you say go secure, and then tell me.
Oh, so
and if
like,
that person on the other end
like,
doesn't have the same,
yeah, so actually doing some type of a key exchange.
right.
Yeah, maybe. Makes me think of like Get Smart, and but even past that, the original Batman, where there was the Bat phone that Commissioner Gordon, had the Bat phone, or could call like Batman directly, having like the actual one-to-one. But even an old school telephone, obviously, that can be intercepted. But just trying to think of, but two, what key are they going to use? And two, is there, outside of government, there are secure messaging platforms, but they still have issues. Can anybody think of a secure messaging platform that CEOs would utilize?
That what would utilize?
Teams, Microsoft Teams.
That CEOs would utilize.
CEOs.
Yeah, because that's the type of level we're talking about with where these deep fakes are going to happen. They're going to happen in the C-suite. Maybe hit like a higher level IT manager, IT director. You're not going to see it really outside of that all that much. But also, whenever it comes to the C-suite, anytime that you're talking encryption, more security, guess who is the last person who normally wants to do it? The C-suite.
Agreed. But here's the thing. You said with CEOs, most of them just use their phones to communicate. They're not really. It's rare that I see a CEO like IMing through the company IM, like Teams or anything else like that. It'll be more so just like their phone if they need to communicate with someone.
Yeah, if they even IM. So you have a Slack.
No, just basic text.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But say like company-wise, you have Teams, you have Slack, you have Mattermost, you have what are the 50 other things I'm on now?
Yeah.
But
I mean, for the most part, it'll probably be an assistant handling that.
Yeah, there'll potentially be an assistant, but most of CEOs that I know are over the age of 50. At least most. I realize there are younger CEOs, but the majority are still going to be a little older than me, who didn't grow up with that technology. Even though they didn't grow up with SMS and email, that's what they lived with throughout the majority of their tenure. That's what they're comfortable with, and so that's what they use. They're not like jumping over to Slack and all these other platforms that are used internally company-wide. And like you said, Teams. And so, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting in the future. Because looking to see how much people are willing to adapt to actually bring a heightened level of security into the organizations.
Right. I mean, like there's a certain CEO of a foreign company that me and my friend communicate with often. It's never we in the I want to say 14 plus years we've known him. Well, my friends know him longer, but in the 14 plus years that I've been quote unquote talking with them, it's never been a direct communication. It's always been through another party. And it's always passing messages back and forth.
Yeah, see, that's cool because that's like spies. That's like MI5, MI6. Like, I like that, CIA. But were the messages like folded up in a very nice way, like in grade school?
No. I mean, it would be like I get a text message and it'll be from that one person.
Oh, that sucks. I was really hoping for a very nicely folded sheet of paper. Remember those, like how they used to fold them?
Yeah, footballs and whatever.
Well, no, I mean you didn't put messages on the football. Football was actually play.
No, not always. We use passing messages across the room.
By playing okay, I can see that. I like that. Yeah, I just played football. I didn't pass messages while playing football. That was a good
where you
game.
fold up the paper into the triangle and you flick it?
We should definitely resurrect that. That should be a DerbyCon game this year. We should play football. So Charles, you scrap up some sheets of paper and bring it.
Oh, the old school football.
Yes.
You flick it.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
That would be cool.
See, that'd be fun.
Yes, that's why I jokingly refer to it as the guy who was sending us kites.
Now I was thinking of because the girls in like grade school and stuff always seemed like they had these funky folding methods. Where they like
to fold it up into an envelope.
Yeah, they fold it into like an envelope and then like fold it in over itself and stuff. And yeah, I was like, I mean, when I was younger, I think I figured out how they did it. But man, I don't know if they had like older sisters or somebody that taught them that. But either way, that was very creative. Even though the football's cooler. I was actually watching something. Speaking of folding paper, there in the Guinness Book of World Records are paper airplane distance records. So flying a paper airplane the longest distance. And this guy, the last record or the current record holder actually went to like a aircraft hangar because it gave the amount of footage he needed to be able to throw. But then also he didn't throw. He just designed and made the plane. And then it was either a pitcher or a quarterback. I don't remember which, just due to the hand speed velocity that they were able to get was the person who actually made the throw. And he was able to go something like 365 foot or like 370 foot or something stupid. Like I remember on my paper airplanes, never had one go over the length of a football field, ever, even with a good wind. Okay, that was deepfakes. Next up on other stuff, we have French police take down a botnet C2 server. So they took down a command and control server, and they had assistance from somebody. Let me see if I can see real quick who it was. Oh, Avast. So Avast, I think they actually have some decent technical write-ups, but I think they have both enterprise and like a freebie home version of their kind of antivirus suite. But there was a command and control system out there working with cryptocurrencies that so far they had infected 850,000 systems, and they were able to infiltrate the command and control. And this says the company was able to stop the malware from operating. Okay, that's easy. You take out the CNC or the C2. Malware from operating and remove the malicious code to over 850,000 systems. So if they were actually able to remove the malicious code, that means that, once it was installed, it still had two-way communication. And so, they had the executables, they had whatever it was to be able, maybe it was MSI, I don't know. But they were able to actually, from the C2, be able to remove, do a self uninstall, and send that command down the pipe. Charles, what do you got? You were giggling like a very happy schoolgirl.
I'm laughing at Jack.
What is Jack doing?
No, he said, "Come on, guy," because of my Facebook post I just posted. That's all. Okay. Jack, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Come on, really?
Is that a bad thing? Hey, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which okay, gotcha. So yes, anybody have anything on the command and control systems? If not,
I don't. Oh well.
how about it?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything on the command and control. Well, it's kind of similar to command and control. So, as everyone knows, I've been playing a lot. I've been playing around a lot with like Cobalt Strike,
Yes.
and just like I said, trying to get a better handle on doing things in different ways, doing similar things with different ways of doing it, like using a combination of either Cobalt Strike or in packet or just PowerShell straight up if I'm doing any type of Kerber roasting.
Yeah, like doing something outside of
the norm.
BSD.
Yes.
Yes.
So I know you'd be proud of me, but so with the command and control stuff, of course, learning a lot about it, and definitely like understanding how beacons function and how I can send things across the wire. The thing is, what I'm trying to figure out now, and I just have this question, and this for anyone out there, when it comes to, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm actually just trying to do things, be able to attack Windows and do different attacks, but from a red teamer standpoint, by not getting caught, maybe like bypassing detection. I've been looking up ways of trying to do that. I noticed that.
Well, it also depends. I mean, you're going to have to start off with figuring out what detection is on those endpoints too. Right?
Gotcha. And,
because you're going to attack a Carbon Black different than you're going to attack, say like a Windows
Cybereason.
or Cybereason or Cylance. Yeah. Because everyone is going to have their specific vulnerabilities. Like a lot of them, you can obfuscate code, and if you use a obfuscation that they've never seen, they're never going to have a freaking clue you're even there. Very few of them actually live in the memory space, so if you're able to get an RCE and go straight into memory, now you can start doing stuff without them ever having a freaking clue.
Gotcha.
But a lot of it is going to, your bypasses are definitely, you're not going to find one bypass that bypasses everything. So you're going to have to figure out what is on those endpoints and then work off of that. Oh, and a good method could, actually, I just thought of this. A good method could be have 2 entry points. You get 2 people clicking on fishes, whatever the thing may be. Use one as just a straight dump. Like, it's going to get killed out. It may get detected, but it gives you that information you need. And then use your second entry point and now utilize that information. And I'm sure that's a popular attack, technique, but just something I thought of that could definitely be utilized. Have, a batch of systems going to one reverse channel, and then another batch of systems going to a secondary reverse channel. Use system A as your information gathering, system B as the actual attack, But yeah, you definitely need to know what's on your endpoints to be able to, but too, if they don't have 24/7, screw it. Like, if you're fast enough, who cares?
Yeah, because I'm literally, and you know what, you just gave me an idea. So looks like I'm going to be chopping through a lot of endpoint detection documentation just to see what
and don't
they might be looking at.
And don't go through their documentation. Go through case studies ran against other red teamers that attacked and found vulnerabilities, and that are still recent.
And also too, I found a good talk at DEF CON says DEF CON 27 says, hide your shit, EDR is coming. So I'm going to check out those slides. And
wait, which one was 27? That wasn't just now, was it?
I think so.
Hello, EDR's been here, like, and it's not hide your shit, EDR is coming. EDR is here. Figure out how to bypass it. It's
well, that was the name of the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I mean, but even you know, at some point last year there was a really good. It may have been a Wild West that they were talking about. You know, just if you're red teaming, stop using PowerShell. Just because everybody's looking for PowerShell EDR side, and they are going to be able to see the PowerShell. I mean, there's products out there that decode, you know, encoded PowerShell statements on the fly, like as you're executing it.
What about encoded C#?
That is a good one. Depending on the encoding, some could decode it, but it depends on the encoding. Now, if you actually have that fully out as an executable, no, they're never going to see it. If you're running C# as a script, yeah, they could and then be able to decode it. But if you've actually compiled it out, no, they're not going to see that.
Okay.
I mean, because it's still compiled, right? You know,
right.
Nobody's going to be able to decompile on the fly.
That's true too. Because the only reason I'm asking these questions is because I'm into the point when even if I'm on a pen test, I'm starting to think more in the red teamer's mindset to where just test and see how I can, you know, not be detected as just as an ongoing exercise, as opposed to just saying, oh shoot, I got a red team engagement. Now I got to think that way. But if I'm constantly in that thinking mode, then I don't, it's kind of like always be ready so you don't have to get ready type scenario.
Yeah.
So even now, because you know, with a lot of pen tests, some pen tests is like, okay, you're in a scenario where it's just already an assumed breach, and you're already on one, like they'll have one Windows box.
Yep.
And just say, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, and two, I definitely want you to hit this realm a little bit, Charles. You know, for a couple minutes, because there's a lot of pen tests where they're gonna set you up with site-to-site VPN, or let you actually come into the organization and work, or maybe they even give you like a regular user credentials, you know, not DA but user credentials, assuming you've already got to this point. But with red team, and Charles, go into kind of what the difference is between a pen test and red team, because there are, I mean, they are big differences, but very few people, I think, really understand that they are different. They kind of, you know, box them in together, but they're definitely different.
I look at red team, and this is just a definition for me. Like, so pen testing is just more so like you're actually just doing like the simulated attacks. The shit can really just be literally like scripted out. There's like no set. It's kind of like a set script already. You're given what you're going to attack. Here's your IPs, go, and you're running scans against them to see if you can actually pop the boxes. As opposed to a red team. Now, the red team, you have to put together some type of strategy. You're not given anything, so you're putting together some type of strategy. Like, hey, only thing you know is that this is the organization that you're going to be doing your red team exercises against. That's it. And they're going to have someone or a team of defenders trying to catch you. Meaning, and what I mean by catch you is see if they can detect the type of attacks that you're actually launching. Like as we were just talking about as well. But
you'll see that happen on pen test too. You know, people trying to catch you. But oftentimes, you know, with a pen test, InfoSec may actually know that's occurring. Red teaming side, rarely do they actually know that a red team attack is occurring.
No, they don't. Only person that knows that is the person that's hired you. But but if the blue team is on their job, as they should be, then they should be able to pick up these specific attacks, see how good your red team actually is, and bypass getting into your organization undetected. That's the main goal. The main goal is not to get caught.
And the big thing with red team too is if and when, you know, because oftentimes with a pen test, if it's detected, okay, go ahead and let them continue the pen test. But if you do detect a red team, you know, you go to management and say, we got stuff happening. I'm going to take action. Is there any reason I should not take action against this?
Right.
You know, most of the time it's going to be a full blue team engagement where they are actively trying to stop because they don't know that it's not real. You know, they don't know it's somebody actively trying to infiltrate their systems. I mean, essentially, red teaming is a targeted attack by a malicious actor.
Right.
You know, but in a non-malicious way. It is a scaled full attack, or at least should be. You know, if you got some company coming in doing red team, doing like a Nessa scan, screw them. Fire them, breach a contract, and get an actual red team group in there.
Well, I mean, for the most part, I mean, we've if you ever been a part of any sort of blue team, when a breach is discovered, the first thing that happens is people get pulled into meetings and they start looking over logs, and then at some point somebody fesses up and says, "Hey, we know that this was coming."
And
Or
remember whenever we were talking about logs earlier, guess what the main thing EDR does? Well, looks through all those security logs. So, FYI, nobody has EDR. Should definitely check EDR out.
Please do. Even if you don't have it in the budget, try OpenStop. Do something.
Yes, yeah. Get
And then
some type.
Wazoo.
Yeah, Wazoo. I mean, even get Sysmon on, or is it Sysmon?
I think it's Sysmon.
For log monitoring. Yeah, even like if you cannot get budget, you cannot get the justification. Seriously, you should be able to get the justification. You should be able to go through and take your antivirus, pair it with your web filter, show where your web filter is seeing all this command and control traffic or whatever traffic it is, you know, and you should be able to show that there's stuff in your environment going out that you have to personally go and remediate, that your antivirus doesn't see. And guess what? We'll see that, or should, if it's a competent EDR. EDR should see those items that are occurring on the endpoint. It's looking for those things that are just out of the ordinary. I mean, first off, looking at logs, it's looking at parent-child processes, looking at funky crap occurring on the endpoints. But yeah, I mean, you almost have to have EDR in today's day and age because antivirus is not going to catch any advanced threat. None.
No.
Because anything that is considered a 0-day, aka they've never seen it before, they won't be able to detect it. And that also includes Cylance. With their AI, if it's something that their AI, which is machine learning, it's not AI, is not tuned towards, that they haven't actually trained for, it's going to bypass. You could have one statement in there that, you know, I mean, there's PowerShell statements that'll shut down Windows Defender completely until there's a system reboot, and you can even persist past the system reboot. But yeah, I mean, just anything that is traditional and really on the AI or on the AV side is just antiquated. I still think it should be there for low-hanging fruit, for script kiddies, you know, Metasploit modules. Yeah, the vast majority of Metasploit modules are going to get picked up if you haven't modified them. If they have the same bit set as one previously seen in the wild, it's going to get picked up.
Yep.
But yeah, you definitely need to be looking at something past that. And that's normally going to be EDR.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my spiel for right now. And again, I'll be doing some more fun stuff at Derby Time. Definitely recording with Adrian. We're gonna rock out and bang out. And if you're at DerbyCon, please, give me a shout. I'll shout back. I might say yep or Al, depends. But
you would say something like that? Never.
Of course.
Never.
Yeah, I just want everybody to just have a good time. If you're
are you still gonna do all your morning Twitter videos like straight?
Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
You know what I think, because I heard there's gonna be about 50 people staying at Adrian's. I think you should do them every morning at like 6:30. Right there in the hotel room.
I don't know. I don't think the other people would appreciate that because I
No.
mean if I was
Well,
crashed out, I would.
I mean, I
might
just
get
want to see
beat.
how long Charles made it. Only the first recording maybe made it to the second. I'm actually taking wagers on the back end. So if anybody wants to contribute, and make
security
place their bets, but
security be running up to Adrian's room. What is going on? Oh my God, they got the BSD bandit. Get him out. Get him out. Sir, what? Dave or whoever be like, what the hell is going on? It's a damn morning video.
This freaking morning person.
Put him on the gurney.
Somebody get him some Dramamine now. Stat.
Yeah, they be like, hey, we'll start that shit.
That's right.
But no, it's gonna be all fun. Definitely excited. Again, like I said, we're gonna take it out one last time, and then before who's your hacker?
Who's your hacker? And that's happening August,
next year,
September of next year,
2020,
September
baby.
next year, yes.
September. Okay.
September next year. So if you
We
have
got
any
stickers.
questions,
Ask the video crew for stickers, and I should have some distributed to them.
Mm-hmm. And I would definitely give one. And if you have questions about who's your hacker, I would definitely answer those too. We can vibe out. I like chocolates, just in case anybody listening.
Oh, we know. Yeah, that's so racist.
I don't know. I figured you were bald and from New York that you would like lollipops.
Oh.
No, we don't like lollipops.
Seriously?
That's a Kentucky thing. That's why they name it KY.
Oh, really? Well, whoa. Jack just entered a new realm. Did you say lollipops with cognac?
No.
I said KY.
Oh, I was going to say, if there was a lollipop with cognac, I would seriously consider that one. That sounds excellent.
No, I said since he's bald and from New York, that he reminds me of Kojak.
I do.
See, I like Kojak.
I'm not talking about the Telly Savalas one. I'm talking about the the short-lived Big Rains one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you now. Hey,
Ricky,
but still, I'm really liking this thought of lollipops with cognac. So if we can figure up a way for that, I'm an investor on that. Like, that sounds awesome.
And then we can just sing, when I dip, you dip, we dip.
See? Oh, yes. I'll put my hand around your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
We dip. Hey!
Yeah, that's good. I like that. We even got a theme song now.
Yeah.
So
I'm seeing a tweet from Ricky. Said it's going to be a fun time. Looks like he's at DerbyCon in the lobby. No, he's not.
What?
Okay.
No,
he just retweeted. I guess he retweeted that pic.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, he's not. It's not looking like he's going to be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a incident overseas that he's going to have to address.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always fun. I'm so glad I do not address. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't address anything anymore, but especially not having to address anything overseas. I used to have 3 locations in India, 2 of which had 3 meg uplinks.
Ooh.
And I would have like 50 plus systems sitting behind these 3 meg uplinks. And I would have systems getting exploited, would have semantic on the endpoints and just not give a shit about, items entering, getting on the endpoints. And then I would manually have to remediate all those things, and it was just such a pain in the ass. Especially,
I mean, wouldn't they? Well, I mean, you're still faced with the same solution, because the only thing I could think of is putting a server on that system that you could push those patches to.
Oh, it wasn't even a patch. Yeah, it was regular functionality on the endpoint that was being exploited, but Semantic didn't care. And so, once I had EDR on the endpoints, it was done. Gone. Like, completely done. But before I had EDR, I used to have. I mean, I probably on one of my hard drives here, I have probably 200 plus PowerShell scripts, and that was my main use for the PowerShell scripts was remote. Kind of just removal of malware in systems that I did not have fast access to. Because like I could go in, I could kill executables, I could do memory dumps, I could do process dumps. And for that one specifically, it would write to the registry. And so I made a PowerShell script that I double click, gave me a nice little pop-up box. I put the system name in, and at that point it goes in and completely wipes out that registry key. And it happened in probably a 3 to 4 second time frame. I mean, it was nice. But unfortunately, before I had EDR in the environment, like that was my reality. I had to do that bullshit all the time. Such a pain in the ass. I mean, but PowerShell from a remediation perspective can be very, very, very nice. You know, utilizing WMIC, stuff like that. I mean, you can, and FYI, WMIC can be used in attacks. So just FYI, if you like getting out there testing stuff, you can use that in a red team fashion also. And WMIC is in like every environment. I've not seen one environment that like completely disabled WMIC.
Well, it's been available since Windows 2000.
Yeah. And it works almost exactly the same throughout the time spans, but now the big benefit is you can do WMIC commands like straight through PowerShell, which increases the speed of it and effectiveness of it tenfold, or maybe even higher than that.
Hey guys, I will be right back.
We may be off stream by that time, but I'll leave the chat going.
Okay. Well, if I don't talk to y'all no more tonight, I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yep. And before we actually drop off stream, well, I mean, Charles, you can go. I'm just asking on the YouTube side. Anybody YouTube side, who's going to be at DerbyCon? You know, showing up tomorrow or Friday. Let us know. Just out of curiosity, because we all will. Well, most of us will be there, and some of us will be doing different roles and functionalities, but almost all of us will be there in one way or another. But yeah, throw that over onto YouTube if you're gonna head up or down or sideways, or if you're buried in the ground, like straight up into Louisville.
You know, Return of the Living Dead was supposedly set in Louisville.
Yeah, but it was filmed in L.A.
Yeah, it wasn't filmed here at all, but it was supposedly set here. You can kind of tell when it was like, what is it? Was it set in L.A.? I know it's like there was like certain types of tree.
It was supposed to be set in Louisville, but it was filmed in L.A. And there might have been one or two scenes that was filmed here, like the like where they're walking underneath the underpass that was actually Broadway towards Baxter. But other than that, that was about it.
And you would think, like, what year was that? That was like 2008 or so, right?
No, 1985.
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, what'd you say? Return of the Living Dead?
Return of the Living Dead.
Did they have one that was like into the 2000s?
I mean,
they had a couple.
Someone made a small indie zombie film set in Louisville that was filmed in Louisville, but I don't remember what it was called now.
Yeah, but you would even think,
no,
like,
no, we don't talk about that. We do not talk about that whatsoever. Nobody talks about that fucking abomination, along with that other one that was filmed at Waverly that was complete horseshit.
Oh, Adrian was mistaken. It was filmed in Louisville.
No, Louisville. Louisville.
Well, okay. There was Dawn of the Dead, which came out like I think 2003 or 4, that had Ving Rhames in it.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
And Ty Burrell, and there was Night of the Living Dead. I think was the one.
Also not set in Louisville. That
Yeah, that
was
was a
in
little more
Pittsburgh area.
But even like
I think
back
there's a
like,
little more. I can't remember.
but even like 1988, wouldn't it have still been cheaper to film in Louisville than it was in LA?
In LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, but did you have everybody on hand that could do that kind of film production?
I mean, I would think it would be cheaper to just fly everybody out.
No, because
Like,
one you
is
gotta
it that much
pay for
cheaper?
one you gotta pay for hotels. You gotta pay for food. You gotta pay for transport back and forth to said hotels, and then what the fuck are they gonna do on their time off? So guess what? You're either forking the bid for So by that point, you might as well have it in L.A. So I mean, they came here. They filmed that one scene over a weekend.
Huh. I don't know. Throw
Well, let's end it with Zombie trivia.
Yeah,
I don't see anybody saying anything in the chat.
throw them up in like a 1 hour motel or something.
No.
Okay.
All right, everybody. You all have a good night, and we'll see you next Wednesday. And some of you I'm going to see tomorrow.
That's right. Go DerbyCon.
Later.
Bye.
See you next
Later.
Wednesday.